knuckles like the first time you ever saw Arlie shuffle. You don't want trouble left laying in a puddle. Bruv, you are having a bubble.
Yo, what is up guys, and welcome back to Flashback FIFA, and today we're going to be looking at the Leeds United team from 2001, basically when they're in the Champions League final. Most of the team anyway. I couldn't fit every single player in, unfortunately, so excuse me for that, Leeds fans. A few players are missing, like David Batty and stuff, but you know, I've got most of the players that I could have in this squad, which is pretty decent. So I also had to get the stats from FIFA 2007 just because I can't go all the way back to 2001 and get the stats from those FIFAs. It's just too far back and no internet database has those stats, unfortunately. So most of the stats you're seeing on the screen are from when Leeds players left and moved on to other teams. So the stats, their stats, you could say, would have been much better at Leeds. So we'll get started in a second, but before we do get started, if you're looking for coins for Team of the Year, to buy packs or any players, make sure you check out FIFA Coin Stock for an instant service. There's no waiting around for your coins, which is pretty awesome, so check them out. But yeah, anyway, let's move on to the actual Leeds team now. And on the bench, there's a few like players that weren't in this 2001 team. I just thought I'd include them because they did play for Leeds. I could have included Aaron Lennon on the bench, but I left him out. And also Robbie Fowler played for us for a season, I believe, so yeah, he was also playing for Leeds around that time anyway. But James Milner, these were his stats in FIFA 07. He was very young playing for Leeds. I think he was 16 on his debut, correct me if I'm wrong, but that is pretty amazing. He's still a great player playing for Man City today, quite underrated in my opinion. People just overlook him, but he works very hard for City for sure. Comes up with a goal now and again, which is great, and these were his stats in FIFA 07. And yeah, he was pretty young then, playing for Aston Villa too. But we'll move straight on now to Lucas Radebe. What an absolute legend this guy is, and actually his stats weren't on any database at all, so I just had to make these up, so they're going to be quite biased. I just gave him an 84 rating. He was awesome for us, stayed with us for like 10 years, just an absolute tank of a centre back. So yeah, I just had to make his stats up. Him and another player in the team, which you will see in a second. So we'll move straight on now to the next bench player, who is Paul Robinson. In FIFA 07 his rating was 86. He was our backup keeper around that time, and you know, he was young playing for us. Pretty awesome goalkeeper for us, I'm not gonna lie. And these were his stats in FIFA 07, just ridiculous. He was playing for Tottenham Hotspur at the time, and you know, them stats are just mental for an 86 rated goalkeeper. So Paul Robinson was in that team, as well as Jonathan Woodgate. Obviously he moved on to teams like Newcastle and Real Madrid. Didn't have the best time at Real Madrid. I'll leave his debut in the description down below. He got sent off and scored an own goal on his Real Madrid debut, which was just ridiculous, but he kept getting injured during his career. For Leeds though, he was amazing. His stats would have probably been even better than what you're seeing on the screen right there, probably even more pacier, better defending and better heading I would have given him. But next up we do have Danny Mills, 76 rated in FIFA 07 with some okay stats, not the fastest obviously, but we'll move straight on to Eric Bakker now, and he was a centre mid in FIFA 07 with, you know, just them stats, pretty okay to be honest. Great heading in FIFA 07, probably would have been higher rated for Leeds back in the day in 2001. Remember, this is 6 years later, so their stats are going to change over the 6 years, and all these players are much better when they played for Leeds, I can tell you that for sure. So we'll move on to the starting 11 of the team now, and in goal we do have Nigel Martin, an absolute legend for Leeds. Again, his stats were nowhere to be found on the internet, so I had to make them up. I didn't want to be too biased. Actually, that's probably a too low rating for him. Leeds fans will agree he's an absolute legend for us. So if Leeds fans, if you want to guess what his stats would have been, write them down in the comment section below. But you know, I just gave him them stats. I just had to pretty much make them up. I just guessed pretty much, and I don't really like doing that. So we'll move straight on now to the right back of the team, who is another Leeds legend, stayed with us for his whole career, Gary Kelly. And obviously his nephew played for Leeds too, Ian Hart, and what a god this guy was. Just an absolute legend, stayed with us for his whole career, even when we went down to the championship, and you know, he's just awesome. And those were his stats in FIFA 07. Obviously he was playing in the championship for us then, so he was a silver with 70 pace, 70 defending. Not the greatest stats, but again, remember lads, these are stats from 6 years later on from the Champions League semi-final, so keep that in mind. His stats would have been much better back in the day for sure. So we'll move on now to Mattia, who is famous for scoring that goal in the San Siro for us. Obviously we still use that chant to this day. But you know, in FIFA 07 his stats, fucking hell, he was 63 rated. Still has some great pace, okay defending for a bronze centre back, but you know, this is 6 years on, so do keep that in mind. His stats would have been much better back in 2001. I wish I could find those stats. I don't have the game anymore. If any of you do have the game and want to write the stats down in the comments, that would be absolutely awesome. So grab your FIFA 2000 disc out if you still have it, and obviously your PlayStation 2 or whatever console it was back then. I think it might have been the PS1 or PS2. So we'll move on to the next defender now, who is obviously Rio Ferdinand, and I'm not really a fan of him. Obviously moved straight to Man United for 30 freaking million back in the day, and that's just mental. Think about how long ago that was. That's just crazy money for a centre back. He was amazing for Leeds. These were his stats in FIFA 07 though. 84 pace, 91 defending and 90 heading, and he's 196 centimeters tall. Absolutely ridiculous stats, and obviously he had an amazing career with United too. There's no doubt about it. He's won trophies, he's won Champions Leagues, he's won this, he's won that. I hate to say it really because I hate Man United. All Leeds fans hate Man United, but you know, Rio Ferdinand was great for us. And yeah, that 30 million move was mental back in the day for sure. So we'll move on to Ian Hart now, the left back, and he is the nephew of Gary Kelly, who I just showed a minute ago. And these were his stats, obviously 6 years on from when he played for Leeds, and he was 74 rated with 71 pace, 78 shooting for a silver, mental, 80 heading, 74 defending and 76 passing. That's an awesome silver card. Back in the day he would have had even more pace as well, and he would have been a gold. This guy's shot was unreal, and his free kicks were great. Obviously he had a thunderbolt of a left foot. Still playing today, and you know, he's still going, which is awesome to see obviously. But moving on now, in CDM we do have Olivier Dacour, and his stats would have been much better than that when he was at Leeds, but he was playing for Inter Milan at the time in FIFA 07, and he was 72 rated. Lee Bowyer is next, and this guy was great. Obviously he played for a couple of clubs down the line. I think he's retired now obviously, but these were his stats in FIFA 07. Nearly a silver, but a nice all-round card there. He can defend, well, okay defending you could say, at 71, and decent pace and passing. But next up, a controversial one right here, Harry Kewell. Hated by a lot of Leeds fans, but I actually do not hate him at all. I know he moved to Galatasaray. I'm going to get hate in the comment section down below, but for me he was one of my childhood heroes, along with the likes of Ronaldo the Brazilian, Ronaldinho, Henry, players like that, Zidane you can say. And you know, he was up there for me. He was amazing for Leeds. Great flair, great, you know, great shooting, just everything about him. He was just awesome. Shame he got injured during his career and he moved to Galatasaray, now hated by Leeds fans. If you don't know what happened, basically it was a Champions League away night. Two of our fans got stabbed by their fans, which was just absolutely ridiculous, and you know, we just hate the club ever since. And when he moved there, it just caused Leeds fans to absolutely hate him. He's come back onto Twitter recently, and there's just been so much abuse towards him, which is mental. I'm just reading some of it. It's just ridiculous. I don't know where people come out with this stuff, but I don't agree with it personally. I know a few of these people are going to be watching this video, and you know, you can do what you want I guess, but I don't agree with it. Whatever, he's done what he's done. I mean, it wasn't the club who killed our fans, it was their fans who were the pricks who did it. So you know, that's just my opinion on the whole matter. But these were his stats in FIFA 07. 83 rated. He was currently playing for Liverpool at that time with 83 pace, great dribbling. Obviously he was amazing, had great flair. But we'll move straight on now to Alan Smith, who moved to another scum team. He moved to, well, the same scum team as Rio Ferdinand. He moved to Manchester United after saying he would never play for them. But you know, at Leeds he was amazing, up there with Harry Kewell for me too, one of our brightest young players. Just, he was in that Champions League semi-final too. These were his stats in FIFA 07. Absolutely amazing all-round card with some great defending, great attacking stats and awesome heading. But we'll move on to Robbie Keane now, who is an absolute Irish legend, and check out his stats on FIFA 07. 85 pace, 90 dribbling and 80 shooting, and that's just absolutely and obviously he's an Irish legend. They look up to him, and I kind of do as well. He's been an amazing player, been at so many clubs, been at Coventry where I currently live, and you know, he moved straight into Milan from there. I think then we got him from Inter Milan, and obviously he's played for so many clubs, Tottenham, Villa, he's now at LA Galaxy, he's still going, just an absolute legend of the game. Same with this guy, Mark Viduka, the guy who would score all the goals for us pretty much. I just clearly remember that game versus Liverpool where he scored 4 great goals for us, and you know, I'll leave that in the description down below. Sorry, these were his stats in FIFA 07, 76 pace, 82 shots, some great dribbling and also great heading. He also had 91 strength in his in-game stats, so that would have been a great card to use for sure. And this is the whole team there, guys, pretty much from 2001. There's a few players missing, as I said before, but you know, Leeds fans, leave your comments down in the comment section below with the stats you would have given these players in 2001. It would be interesting to see. I'll leave a comment too saying what I would have give these guys stats wise. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure you drop a like and also suggest teams for me to cover in the next few videos. That would be great. And subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and I will see you soon. Take care.